Yes, dear students. In this video, I'm going to discuss one of the questions of this year past paper. Contest question. See, 2024 exam. My students also sat for this. I hope that they might get A and B because I made them write many questions, many answers as well as I dictated. Right. Comment briefly on any one of the following passages, explaining its significance to the play from which it is taken. Now I am going to its B. I travel around a great deal. The city swept about me like dead leaves, leaves that were brightly colored but torn away from the branches. I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. I always came upon me. It always came upon me unawares, taking me altogether by surprise. Perhaps it was a familiar bit of music. Perhaps it was only a piece of transparent glass. You identify this quotation as the last narrative of Tom Wingfield in the Glass Menagerie, written by the American playwright, yes, Tennessee Williams. Tennessee Williams, now you have to answer this question. You have to show, you know it, you have to mention from which it is taken, what is the place, what the scene, and here instruction, use comment briefly on any one of the following passages explaining its significance to the play from which it is taken. First, you have to mention this quotation has been adapted from the modern American play, The Glass Menagerie, written by the modern writer, Tennessee Williams. And who tells this? Tom. Tom is still on the halfway of that ladder. Actually, that's not a ladder. The story tells, play mention is a fire escape. Fire escape also conveys their poverty because there is no proper entrance. It's upstairs setting. You know that Wingfield apartment, both sides flanked, upstairs compartment, and there's a fire escape. It is meant for sudden exit in case of a fire. Now Tom is standing halfway of it, and he narrates the entire play. At the end, he comes to the beginning. That is where he gives these last words. According to Tom, he spent a very pathetic, extremely pathetic life with his mother and sister Laura, being the breadwinner of the family. Okay, his sister is extremely shy and unemployed girl, and mother unemployed. Both depended on Tom. Now it's a memory play. It's a flashback. Tom himself says that it's a memory play, and some parts are emphasized and some parts are omitted according to the significance. So he tells the story, what happens to him. In this part, he tells about his life after escaping the dismal background of his house. What is Wingfield apartment? One of the major themes of the themes of the play is also escapism. There are two men who escaped. One, Tom's father. He escaped early at the beginning. It's behind the curtain, right? It is not acted on the stage. As we are told, he left when children were early. Tom also had the idea of leaving at the beginning, his intention. So he paid uh, a shipping company with what money he was to pay the electricity company. We have to mention that. Thus he left. After leaving his house, 15 years later, Tom returns to this working class town of St. Louis and visits his former place, Wingfield apartment, climbs on the fire escape and finds it empty. He doesn't know where his mother, Amanda, and yes, sister, Laura now live. We can most probably, now this no, I'm not dictating answer here, giving ideas only. I will dictate answers later for some questions. Right? We, most probably, right, they could have been safety, have been safe somewhere, have been made themselves safety, because at the end of the story we come to know that Laura is made positive by the gentleman called Jim O'Connor. Jim O'Connor points out that her problem is a slight one in comparison with the problems the people of the world have. Now, why it is significant? I traveled around a great deal. The city swept about me like dead leaves. That means when he traveled around a great deal, he identified cities swept about him like dead leaves. Leaves that were brightly colored but torn away from the branches. Leaves shed. Leaves don't remain within the branches every day. So this is not a romantic fiction or play, but this is modern American play. So the writer uses imagination and also comparison. He sees the dead leaves. Reason. He is also like a leaf that separated from its branches because he has no family now. He symbolizes, his words also symbolize the same. He doesn't know where mother lives, what happens to sister. These words are uttered by Tom after he returns from traveling. Right? It was his mother who stimulated him to leave the home. She scolded her, at the incident of himself bringing home Jim O'Connor. Amanda flares up. She couldn't control her anger. So she throws rasping words at Tom without care in Tom's service as the breadwinner of the family. We know that Tom didn't bring Jim O'Connor purposely, right? He didn't know that he was going to marry. It was secret. Jim also tells that. Up to now, it remains a secret at warehouse, right? Therefore, on the side of Jim, on the side of Tom, he is correct. He could have been careful before introducing Jim O'Connor to family. Anyway, the concern of this point is escapism and traveling. His father, at early in his marriage life, he identified the impossibility of living in that right background, unencouraging background, and he decided to leave. I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. Now, I would have stopped, but I was pursued by something. There are several ideas. He would have stopped at his home, but he remains depressed and disappointed. He fell into a hard alcoholic life, right? Every night he comes home on all fours, at least being unable to insert the key into the door. Every night he goes to movies as a means of relieving his stress. Now I would have stopped without traveling, but I was pursued by something. It always came upon me unawares, taking me altogether by surprise. We have to pay attention to their living environment also. Surrounding of the Wingfield apartment is full of eyesores. There is a canal full of clotheslines. There are garbage cans. Everything is dirty appearance. People's behavior is also bad. There is Paradise Dancing Hall where couples come out and kiss on ash pits. Ash pits are not a suitable place for lovers but dogs. So he had to escape that environment. Inside the house also, he was not encouraged. Always he was criticized, saying he was careless. Though he rendered a great service to them. But I was pursued by something one way, mother's persuasion. Amanda made life tedious for Tom. If she treated Tom with love and care, sometimes the situation could have been different. But always, from the beginning, he said, rise and shine, rise and shine. And every day she says, you smoke a lot. Every night you go to movies. She could have made a pleasant environment or background for Tom to live there. But she feared their existence. Sister, her daughter, Amanda's daughter Laura, is unemployed. She is unemployed either. It always came upon me unawares, taking me altogether by surprise. Perhaps it was a familiar bit of music. Familiar bit of music. He talks about his traveling around the world. It was a familiar bit of music. What is music? When he lived at home, he was familiar with the certain music. That is the music produced by the glass menagerie. This quotation is significant for the play. Why? The glass menagerie. Glass menagerie, as we know, a collection of collection of tiny glass animals. Collection of tiny glass animals. Glass animals, they are transparent glass animals. It is Amanda who gives the name. What? Glass menagerie for this. Her daughter Laura, Amanda's daughter Laura, often plays music with these glass animals, and she touches them and lives with them. Tom's life outside when traveling is also a familiar bit of music. It was a sad music. Why? When we analyze it in literature, we understand it. This glass menagerie is the only painful reminder of Laura's father. Amanda also likes that because Amanda never hates her husband. She always asks Tom to be like your father. That's a marvelous thing, surprising. It was that man who led her to suffer like this, but he doesn't hate. Now, that's why I say, perhaps it was familiar bit of music that he acquired the world. He explored the world, discovered the world through traveling. But it was a familiar bit of music because he was isolated. When it returns to the apartment, it is not mentioned clearly whether he's married or not. Right? Most probably we can identify that he is unmarried. Perhaps it was only a piece of transparent glass. Transparent glass. Glasses are always transparent. Glasses break easily. Right? His life is also like a transparent glass. Though he traveled around the world, though he gathered so many experiences around the world, if he looks at his life, he could again see the world on the other side of the glass. Like animals in the glass menagerie, he could also see the world because that glass animals are transparent. Not only glass animals are transparent, the portieres of the Wingfield department. What do you mean by portieres? The curtains of the Wingfield department at the beginning. We come to know that they are also transparent. That means curtains, not only glass. Curtains are also like glass. In a house or whatever, wherever it is, a curtain is used to separate something, some place from other place, not to be seen inside. But Wingfield department curtains are transparent. Dear student, literature means our analytical approach, analytical mind. My analysis may not be the analysis of another one. But at the exam, right, your analysis, your analytical approach is accepted if it is correct, argumentative, imaginative, so on. Literature means imagination, right? Here, Tom says, perhaps it was only a piece of transparent glass. Now, when Tom talks about transparent piece of glass, what do we understand? Tiny glass animals, transparent glass animals. So, Wingfield department, 40s, curtains are also transparent. They are called 40s. Through those courtiers, movement of the family members can be seen. Inside the family, there is nothing to hide. Everything is transparent. Now, glass animals are also transparent. There is no hideous in their lives. Everything open. In this working class society, all their problems are open. Privation, starvation, behavior problems, all of them are evident, like transparent glass. Tom from the beginning describes the background of the town of St. Louis. Now you may ask why I am telling those things, to get ideas. Take ideas from this and write your own answer. In a later video, I will give an answer. Right? At the very beginning narrative, now we meet this quotation at last. But he is still on the halfway of that fire escape. He narrated the entire story through his memory. And beginning narrative should be joined to the end of the narrative. Now he says at the beginning, the town of small working class town of St. Louis is full of worries. And they are the victims of so many issues. They are also transparent. Tom's memory is also transparent. Now I go to the beginning of the, you are not to think that I am dictating answer, giving background issues to organize an answer. At the beginning, being a memory play, glass manager, beginning, Tom says, like this. Not Tom. The author says like this. The Wingfield department, scene 1, no? Wingfield department is in the rear of the building, one of those vast hive-like conglomerations. Hive like conglomeration, high population, like how you mean beehive, of cellular living units that flower as vertigrowths in overcrowded urban centers of lower middle class. Lower middle class means poor. Now, actually, the glass menagerie is that Laura's collection of glass animals, but the entire play is a transparent glass. William Congreve's play, The Glass Menagerie, is a transparent glass to see the working class society of America in 21st century, 20th century. It's also a piece of glass. Why? The writer shows all worries and grievances of the people. Uh, Cellular living units that flower as vertigrowths and overcrowded urban centers of lower middle class population are the symptomatic of the impulse of this largest and fundamentally enslaved section of American society to avoid fluidity and differentiation and to exist and function as one interfused mass of automation. So, as I said, the entire drama is a piece of glass. Piece of glass is transparent. The other side can be seen. Through this, the writer wants to show how far this working class society had to suffer in towns like St. Louis in Chicago, near Chicago. Here, writer says the apartment faces an alien is entered by fire escape, a structure whose name is touch of accidental poetic truth. Poetic truth is imaginative. All of these huge buildings are always burning with the slow and intraceable fires of human desperation. Again, this is a piece of glass to show what the slow and implacable fires of human desperation. Dear students, literature means imagination. You should know how to write, how to be imaginative, how to think about the life, how to get ideas about the world. Now, here, huge buildings are always burning with the slow and implacable fires of human desperation. So, again, drama is a piece of transparent glass. The scene is memory and is therefore realistic. Memory takes a lot of poetic license, right? And after telling this, it is at last, after the description of the entire novel, entire play, at last, Tom comes to this place. I traveled around a great deal. At the incident of himself bringing Jim O'Connor and mother becoming a fire eater, he left the house saying, I'm leaving. Then mother says, go to the moon. But he says, I didn't go to the moon. I went further, for time is the longest distance between two places. Not long after that, I fired for writing a poem on the lid of showbox. Again, there's something about literary value. Tom, when working in that warehouse, he used to write poetry in washroom because others insulted him like an old-fashioned dog, old-fashioned trotted dog, and they also nicknamed him Shakespeare. They didn't nickname him Shakespeare to appreciate him, but to condemn him. That is also a piece of glass that shows the attitudes and mentality of people. Now, anyway, the last narrative is given by Tom after returning to the place after 15 years. Mother is not there. Sister Laura is not there. But we can think that they may be living somewhere. He also said, not long after that, I was fixed for writing a poem on the lid of a shoebox. Now, he at last, on this occasion, when Tom gives this description, he's a merchant sailor, half of the ladder. He's standing in the attire of a merchant sailor. But he says, not long after that, I was fired for writing a poem on the lid of a shoebox. When he traveled around the world, he couldn't find emotional people, no sensitive people. Why? He was fired when he wrote a poem under the shoebox. The world is hostile to human imaginations. That is what a piece of transparent glass sees. This transparent glass sees the modern behavior, attitudes, and thoughts of the people. All are money-minded. Modern world is money-minded, stingy, hypocritic, and introvert. They are not altruistic. It is of that he says, I sent Lois. I descended the steps of this fire escape for a last time and followed. From then on, in my father's footsteps, attempting to find the motion, what was lost in his face, I traveled around the great Leela. Why did he travel? At the beginning, pointing to the life-size photograph of his father, he says, that is bastard. I am son of bastard. Because father left early. Now he should leave. There's a collision between human emotions, thoughts, and responsibilities. Actually, it's it's not easy to explain a short video like that. Anyway, I think my ideas will be important for you to write answers. Later on in future, I will dictate answers for these. I hope to give you answers for all past papers from the point introducing this new syllabus. Right. So now it is enough. I will give another video. Very difficult to no time. My work, classes. Now, you mean there are no common classes, for this. For 2026, now there are 11 classes. 5 students, 6 students. Remember, many are Muslims, Muslim girls. I am not racialist, but they want to learn. Very few Sinhalese students are there, okay? International schools and other government schools. Muslim girls, they have joined as groups 5, 6 like that. Now we have 11, 2026 groups. Current Amaru time manage current today morning also class common fall. Right, okay. Definitely my students will win. Okay. Wish you all the best. Goodbye.